Welcome back to another video here at Gym Carlos UK. Today we're going back to a more informational one. Obviously it's good for me to share my knowledge that I've got over the years with you guys, so if I can help someone or a few of you, then all the good for me, and that's what I'd like to do with these videos. So today, really, what I wanted to talk about was, in particular, was tips for fat loss, along with also some mistakes and myths that are flying around out there, and have been for a while. So just want to clear up some of them as well. So first thing I just want to say, if you're new to the channel, please subscribe, click the notification bell so you know when my next videos are coming. Please obviously give the video a like. I'm actually trying to aim at the moment for my first milestone here on YouTube with 100 subscribers, and that doesn't really sound like a huge amount, but anyone that's in the YouTube industry will know that hitting that first 100 is a big milestone. So if you could please do that for me and help to contribute towards that, I'd greatly appreciate it, and it'd be doing me a massive favour. So anyway, getting on with the video. So basically, I was going to take you through some, as I said, some tips and some mistakes and some myths there as well. So starting off with fat loss tips, number one is obviously calculating exact calories and macros that you need. Now this is obviously a very important step, whether you're dieting, bulking, maintaining weight. It's a must do. Basically, you need to know exactly, you can't diet, you can't bulk without knowing exactly what sort of calories and macros you want to be hitting. So, as I said in my, I think I mentioned it in my carb cycling video, my first video that I actually did here on YouTube is showing you exactly how to do this. So I suggest that you check that video out if you haven't done already. It'll be a good place to start with these. So yeah, like I say, you need to know exactly what your calories are, what your macros are, and that video will break down exactly. I'm not going to go into it now in great detail, but obviously you need to know exactly calories and your carbs, fats, protein breakdown for your dieting. Next thing, point number two that I've mentioned on here is your tracking and adjusting your weight. Now during your diet or your fat loss journey, you obviously need to keep constant track on what you're eating, your weight, so you can make the necessary adjustments if required. Tracking wise for the food, I actually use MyFitnessPal, which is a great app. I think it's probably the most widely used app. There's others out there which will do a similar sort of job, but I just find MyFitnessPal so easy, and it just enables you to put in your calories, macros, and enter your food into various meals, snacks, and it's all there in black and white for you. So yeah, check that out. So as I say, once you know your calories and your macros, obviously you can then enter them into an app like my FitnessPal, and you can track exactly what you're eating from day to day. And also with adjusting your weight, one thing that I will say about it is, obviously once you get into your diet, a week or two down the line, if things aren't going to plan and you're not losing weight, then you need to be looking at your diet again. This is the time when you can review it. You can go back and make slight adjustments to maybe the carb level, carb, proteins and fats. And it's basically, one thing doesn't work for everyone. Everyone's different, their bodies are different, and the diet will be different as well. So you need to make adjustments as you're going along. One thing that did work for me, obviously I'm not saying it's going to work for everyone, and it's a good tip as well here, is what I would say for every, say you start at 170 pound, once you drop down like 5 to 165, I would then recalculate your macros and calories once again, and just continue from where you left off, basically. So I'd suggest that it's something that I did when I was dieting. For every 5 pound, I was readjusting the calories and macros again. So it's a thing worthwhile to try. So you need to, that's a good thing for point number two there. So going on to point number three, nutrient dense foods. Now obviously this is a big part of your dieting, so you need to stick to, so you're looking at your vegetables, in particular your green vegetables, i.e. broccoli, spinach, leafy greens as well. Is obviously, the darker the better actually for dieting. Fruits, obviously sticking to your fruits to get the necessary vitamins in. And obviously with carb related foods, you're looking at your pasta, brown particularly. I'd say going for a whole grain if you can, pasta, rice, oats. You can incorporate breads, but I tend to try and stay away from bread a bit more if possible. Basically a lot of high fibre foods, carb wise. You want to be looking at sweet potatoes is another good one. You can incorporate normal white potatoes, but again I would personally limit that down a bit more and stick to sweet potatoes. Really, if you're gonna, obviously every now and again isn't gonna hurt, but I would generally try and stick to sweet potatoes if you can. Just making sure you incorporate a lot of goodness into your diet. So point number 4, exercise. Now when it comes to exercising on your diet, I would say if you're starting off into the diet phase, I'd sort of start slow and gradually increase your cardio over the sort of time. What I would personally recommend is you start at say 10 minutes of cardio, say even like 3 times a week, just to get you going in that phase. The last thing you want to do is be banging into it, you know, too quickly. A lot of people make the mistake of just going at it like a ball in a china shop. Way to do it. You want to introduce it slowly, so because as I said, you could start with 10 minutes every 3 days, and then the following week you could up it to 10 minutes every 5 days. Then after that you can incorporate it 20 minutes into 3 days, 30, 40, you know. If you're doing HIIT training, then I would say around 20, anything from 15 to 30 minutes really, HIIT training wise. Anything sort of slower paced, sort of cardio, i.e. biking, jogging, I would say anything from 30 minutes to an hour is usually enough. So then going on to the 5th fat loss tip, there is obviously your meal plan, your foods, and obviously one thing I will discuss is cheat meals as well, which I know is a thing that's brought up quite a lot and sort of frowned upon with certain people. Now with your meal plan, you need to make sure it's sustainable in the long term. That means incorporating foods that you like, not making them too plain. Make sure that they're tasty. Obviously, because if they're not tasty, then you're not going to enjoy them, you're not going to want to keep eating them. So yeah, stick to some good food, something you like. Incorporate different foods basically, like I said, mainly with your fruits, your veg, and some carbs, and also some fats in there as well, which I'm going to cover off shortly. Yeah, so make sure it's sustainable for you. One thing I will say is do not cut out all your favourite foods, i.e. you know, a bit of pizza or biscuit or bag of crisps. Just all in moderation, I'd basically say, because if you cut out everything you enjoy, your diet won't last, because you'll be craving it, your body will be craving its sugar, particularly sugar if you're like a cake fan. So I would say don't cut everything out. Particularly to start with on a diet, I'd say just everything in moderation. I mean, it's not going to hurt you to have a biscuit every couple of days, every 3 days or so. Same with a little bit of cake or something. You know, as long as you're doing your exercise and you're burning calories, and you can incorporate, you know, some food, your favourite foods into the diet. Now, cheat meals. This is something that I personally do myself. Usually only once a week. On a Saturday or Sunday, I'll get myself a takeaway. You know, recently I've had like McDonald's or a Pizza Hut, because I find that I've worked hard all week basically on my diet and my food, and it's sort of time to sort of award yourself. That's it, award yourself with something at the end of the week, and it also gives you something that you can look forward to at the end of the week for all the hard work you've done all week long. So I'd suggest it doesn't do any harm really whatsoever incorporating a cheat meal into your diet once a week, even, you know, depending on your calorie burn, etc., and your metabolism, even twice a week. Some people incorporate cheat meals twice a week. I'd personally advise, one thing I would say is cheat days. You see a lot of people that have a full cheat day where they basically eat everything they want in a day. Now, I'd be lying if I said I've never done it, because I have done it from time to time, but not very often. It's not something that I'd recommend you do every week. Just stick to sort of a main cheat meal you know, where you can have, like I say, your pizza, ice cream, etc, etc, etc. But I would avoid a full cheat day, because that will, you know, probably have knock-on effects on your diet and put you back. So actually, to be quite honest, having incorporated a cheat meal does actually more better than harm for you, because your body gets used to all the food all week long, you're dieting, and when you eat a big meal, a big, you know, fast food or something, your body's as if it's sort of, your metabolism springs back into life again, and it gives you a boot up the such to say, and gets your metabolism going again. So, you know, it's definitely a good thing, and I know it's frowned upon with people, but I would recommend that you do incorporate a cheat meal. So I'm just going to take you through now some fat loss mistakes and cut myths as well. So, point number one for mistakes is avoiding fats in your diet. Now, that's something that you do not want to do. Now, when I'm saying about avoiding fats in your diet, then I don't mean like constantly munching on fast food. This is a fat, unsaturated fats. I'm talking here about good fats, i.e. nuts, nut butters, avocados, you know, olive oil, say some extra virgin olive oil, some good, basically your good sources of fats. You can incorporate them into your diet, and it's actually really important that you do get some fats into your diet, particularly if you're low carbing, as I sort of went through on my carb cycling video. If you're low carbing, then you do need fats. You will need fats in your diet, but a lot of people will avoid it. You know, one thing is like egg yolks, for instance. A lot of people sort of, oh no, you know, not touching egg yolks in eggs. It's actually the best part of the egg, to be quite honest. There's a lot of vitamins and minerals in there. Yeah, they are sort of, they are quite calorific, but if, as I say, once you know your calories and your macros, you can incorporate them in. I wouldn't say sort of have 5 or 6 eggs with all the yolks, but you can incorporate 1 or 2. It's not going to do any harm. Point number 2, eating too many calories. Now, obviously, you'll probably notice that if you're not getting the results, you know, with your diet, then something's wrong. And one of the things could be that you're either not tracking your calories, or you're just eating too much in general. The main point, as you know, is being in a calorie deficit, and it all comes down to burning calories and calories in and calories out. So you just need to make sure you're in a calorie deficit, basically, and track well, and you should be able to avoid this. Point number 3, expecting results too quickly. Now, this is something, again, that's comes up quite a lot. A lot of people expect a miracle very quickly when it comes to fat loss. You can, obviously, you know, there are diets out there like the keto diet, for instance, where you can lose a lot of weight very, very quickly. Generally, it's like you tend to flush out your water retention as well very, very quickly, and you can lose, you know, some people you've lost up to about sort of 10 pounds or so in a week. So yeah, in an ideal world, what I do when I'm losing weight, I generally think a comfortable fat loss target is 1 to 2 pound a week max. Particularly if you sort of been on a bulk and then you're cutting down to try and lose body fat. Obviously, you don't want to lose muscle. You can lose muscle basically if you're dieting too quickly. So I would sort of say a healthy of weight, about 1 to 2 pound a week. You should really be aiming for. Obviously, to start with, you'll notice there'll be probably a bigger increase. You could lose 3-4 pounds in the first few weeks, and then it will just peter off once your body gets used to your dieting. But yeah, you can't expect a miracle. It's a very, very slow process, and you need to stay with it. You know, some weeks you might not lose anything, and it makes you feel down. You think, oh, sod it, let's just reach for the tin of Quality Street or something and start munching away. But no, you've got to just stick with it. As I say, if you're not getting results, if you're not seeing any weight loss, revisit your calories, recalculate, and play around with it until, you know, as I say, what works for one person doesn't work for everyone. So just, yeah, don't expect it too quickly. It can take months. When I've been cutting before, it's taken me 5 months, 6 months to get to the way I want to be. So yeah, just don't expect a miracle. Point number 4 of the mistakes is little to no exercise. Now, some people will diet and then not do any exercise basically and just expect the weight to fall off. Obviously, if you're cutting down your calories, chances are you lose a tiny bit of weight. But as I say before, it's the case of calories in versus calories out. You need to be burning calories, whether that's cardio, whether that's doing weight training. You know, just you need to be exercising. Again, as I said before, you can start off slow and just gradually increase it over time. So yeah, but yeah, you need to be doing some exercise. Again, another thing, if you're not losing weight, then that's another point to look at, is are you doing enough exercise? Are you exercising at all? So yeah, so that's another point. So the last thing I wanted to cover, carbs, eating carbs at night time. Now, a lot of people freak out. Oh no, I can't eat carbs at night time, it make me fat. Rubbish. It will not. Eating carbs at night does not make you fat, but it doesn't do you any harm whatsoever eating carbs late at night. Your body, when you're sleeping, it's your body's chance to recover and grow. And sleep, obviously, as everyone knows, is imperative to fat loss. Well, fat loss and muscle gain, basically. But as long as you're hitting your calories and you're cutting your macros every day, doesn't matter when you incorporate them. Basically, you can incorporate them. Obviously, you don't want to incorporate it all in 1 or 2 meals. You obviously want to spread the meals and snacks out during the day, because then it keeps your metabolism burning, and obviously that's a good thing for fat loss, is you need to have your metabolism going. But do not fear carbs at night time. It's not what you know. It's nothing to worry about. You're not going to eat some carbs before you go to bed and wake up, you know, the size of a house. It's just not going to happen. So you know, do not avoid that. Anyway, guys, that's me going to wrap up the video there. I hope you found this useful. Again, I want to try and bring you some more informational videos so you can gain some some knowledge that I've built up over the years. As always, please comment in the section below anything relating to this video, any questions, if you need any answers to any of these questions, please comment below. As I said at the beginning, please like, subscribe, and help me get to that first 100 subscribers, and I'll be greatly appreciate every one of you that people that have subscribed so far. Thanks very much to all you that have subscribed at the moment. And yeah, anyway, thanks very much for watching. Hopefully you've stuck along till the end of the video, and yeah, good luck in your diet journey if this is something that you're looking at, and I shall see you all very soon for another video.